Hello and welcome to a little bit of a different video here today. I've had an order come through that I haven't even had a chance to actually look through properly yet, so I thought we could do that together. But the reason for this order is because I just thought things like basil were for pasta, pizza and pesto. Well, I never in a million years would have thought that my gardening journey would have taken me down this amazing path of natural remedies and herbalism, which I know it is now called. So basil, for example, especially Tulsi or holy basil, is one of the herbs that herbalists love to use in tea blends, and now I know all these things about tinctures and all these other things that are just blowing my mind. Currently, I have 2 books that I am going through very slowly, unfortunately. Next year, when my little one starts kinder, I will definitely be getting right into these to learn more. But these are the 2 that I've started with. I think everybody that I have seen starts with this book from Rosemary Gladstar. She is obviously a star in the herbal world. But also this one I'm finding is really interesting as well. I'm going to read a little excerpt from this one just about basil so that we can see all the amazing properties that it has. Now, this is an interesting topic because I was talking to a few people about it and I was like, I never knew that there was this world out there, except when I started to do some research on plantain. I actually saw a product from Clarins, I think you pronounce it, which had plantain extract in it for a skin aging product, and I thought that that was amazing. And as a friend of mine said, obviously before we had all of these chemicals and man-made products, we had plants. So as I said, these are the 2 books that I've started with. I've just cheekily spoilt myself to 2 more. I'll quickly put those up on the screen, but I'm absolutely obsessed with Kaylee from the Honeystead, and I'm also loving Amber from Grace Walk Farm. They are amazing YouTubers that are such a wealth of knowledge that I'm just lapping it all up, and I find it so incredible. So I'll just read the little bit in here in regards to Tulsi or holy basil. Actually, my little bookmark, just to show you, is that is my grandfather. Oh, wrong way. That is my grandfather and my great-grandfather, so his dad, where is it? There it is. Out the front of their fruit and veggie shop on Chapel Street, South Yarra. Isn't that incredible? It would have been about 1920-ish, somewhere around there, when he was a teenager. But this is what this book says. Holy basil. A delicious, delightful, aromatic herb, holy basil excels at relaxing the mind and body, improving cognition and uplifting the spirits. It also lowers blood sugar, modulates cortisol, decreases inflammation, improves digestion, and helps strengthen the immune system to protect you against common pathogens. How can one tiny herb do all those things? I think it is absolutely incredible. So I know when I watch those ladies on YouTube, they formulate tea blends which have all different herbs in it to be able to combat all different ailments and just, you know, feeling better or more revived. And honestly, it just blows my mind. So I'm just in the really early stages of it. I'm so green that I wouldn't, go out foraging or anything like that. And that was actually the reason for my purchase. So this is a purchase of herbs from Mudbrick Cottage up in Queensland. I actually had a big purchase from them for my daughter's first birthday. I bought all of those little meadowsweet plants and they were gifted to our guests as presents after her birthday celebration. And I love them. And if you've got a question for them, they are always there, happy to help you. So we're going to go through some of these plants that I have spurged on. And I just wanted to touch on some things like this one, for example. This one is radium weed, and I'm sure that there is places around me that has this in abundance. But being new to this, I didn't want to be using things that I just thought might be correct. So now that I've gotten them from a reputable source and I know that they are medicinal and they have been grown for that purpose, I can confidently use this in any of the recipes that are in these books that I have purchased. So this is just a little example of one of those herbs that, you know, now that I've seen it in real life and can feel it and touch it and see what the flowers look like, I probably can identify this in the wild. But until I actually had my hands on this, photos on the internet really don't do it justice. Also, things in books, you know, unless they're really specific, you've got to be very careful when foraging. So we have some radium weed. So this is something that I haven't had a chance yet to smell, which is apple mint. And this is actually the variegated variety. So it's really pretty as well. This is something that Michelle from More Than Farmers says that is her favorite for her teas. And I just thought, oh, I've got to try that. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's really pretty. So I'm looking forward to drying some of this in my dehydrator. I've also been looking into a freeze dryer because I've seen the dehydration and the color and just the medicinal properties can get stripped a little bit when we're air drying or dehydrating, however you want to dry your herbs, whereas freeze drying keeps the color and a lot of those properties locked in. So there is a company called Ozfarmer, I believe, and they bring over the Harvest freeze dryers, if I'm correct. And they have just the medium at this stage, but I've had my eye on the small because I think that would be perfect for my uses. So I messaged them the other day and I said, have you got any plans in the works to get the small in stock anytime in the future? And they said, next year. So if you are interested in a freeze dryer, but you only need a small one and you don't want to spend $5,000 on one, then that might be an option for you. So what else have we got? Echinacea. This is one that I'm having trouble germinating, and you would have seen in one of my previous videos that I am trying again. No luck with those seeds so far. So why not just buy a plant? It's done, it's ready to go, and then I know at least it's going to actually grow, as opposed to the other ones which are just so hit and miss. I also got some pink savory. I have managed to germinate some summer savory, and I've had no luck with the winter savory. Actually, did I get winter savory? Okay, I don't know. I'll have to keep searching through this selection and see if I actually ended up getting my hands on some winter savory. But this one, unlike winter and summer, is actually a different variant, or it's a different plant altogether. And I just thought that this would be interesting to try what this sort of tastes like and smells like. So that's just a herb for cooking. That's not a medicinal one. I got some ruby saltbush just because I love my Australian natives, and also something else that was Australian native. That's right, the rock samphire. I was hoping that the rock samphire was similar to a dish that we had at a fancy restaurant years ago, where they had what they called sea something, and it was just these little bursts of like sea salt in the salad or whatever was the side dish. And so I asked the chef about what it was that made that burst of sea, and I thought that this may have been it, but unfortunately no, it's not. So those are my two little Australian natives to add to my collection. I got some variegated lemon thyme because I just think, oh, that's beautiful. I just think that any time that you can add a little bit of colour and variegation, it's just so pretty. So obviously it's exactly the same as normal lemon thyme, but just the variegated variety. I think the big warehouse just sells the normal one, so it's nice to have something a little bit differently. On the lemon train, we have got, and this is definitely medicinal, lemon balm. So I haven't even tried this yet. Oh, okay, whoa. That is a completely different lemon from this, and really pretty. Okay, so this is supposed to energize you and do a whole heap of other amazing things. So great for tea, great for spritzing up tea, great for putting it in your water in summer to give you a bit of a boost. So, okay, looking forward to that one. So I'm just going to pull these out willy-nilly. So I have some marshmallow. This is where marshmallows originally came from, was from the root of this plant, but it's also really good for your digestion, I hear. And then we've got some yarrow. Yarrow is great for if you cut yourself. You can crush this up and put this on your cut and it will stop the bleeding. So it's a clotting herb. And I'm sure it's got a whole heap of other things that it does. And that's what my books are for. So I'm just learning, as I said. We've got some bronze fennel. I believe that that is good for something medicinally, but also it says culinary on the tag. Again, that's just adding a little bit of colour into the garden that's a little bit different from the normal fennel. And as you'll see in my other video, I talked about the fennel pollen. So check that out if you haven't seen that video yet. Goldenrod. Again, this is one that I hear the girls talk about in America that's all over the place, but I'm not going to be foraging for things that I just can't be 100% certain of them being the correct plant. So just better to purchase that. White sage. So I'm not sure about this one either, but this one, you could only purchase one plant per customer. So I'm assuming this must be in very high demand or very special. So I have to look that one up. Another one for teas. This is a combination pineapple sage and chocolate mint that I think I heard somebody say is really nice in a tea. So, it's very subtle. I've tried these at one of our local nurseries before and I remember them being very intense, and these ones seem a little bit more subdued. So that's a good thing for me because I don't like heaps of like in your face, unless it's chilies, of course. I do like those to be in your face. Then this one is for culinary delights, or for my culinary delights. This is green pepper basil. So this is a basil that has a bit of a kick to it, talking about my old chilies. So I think that this would be really good in dishes just to add a little bit of a different flavour. It is a much more robust leaf, so it's not delicate like your normal basil, but it's obviously got the similar flowers to your basil. And we're almost finished. What have we got? 4 more. Oh, I bet this might be the winter savoury. Yes, it is. So there's winter savoury. So this is the one that I haven't had any luck. So I just want to compare winter, summer and pink and see if I even like any of them, to be honest with you. So that's that one. And then the last 3, stevia. I missed out on purchasing some of this up at the plant fair, which is on again in November. So just next month. So that adds sweetness to things, natural sweetness, great for your teas if you don't want to add some sugar. And then there is thuja or thuja, I think some people pronounce it differently. This one is actually, this is a funny story. So this is something that I got for some skin ailments, as well as the radium weed. This is actually the same plant that was this huge conifer sitting a metre away from me right now. That was the reason why we had to take it out in order to put this deck and the door, replacing the window that used to be here in our lounge room. So the fact that I had this huge plant and now I've had to go and pay $12 for another one. But again, this is everywhere, but I didn't want to pick it from if it was overhanging somebody's garden. It was just too risky. So it's better to just, especially if you're going to be applying it to your skin, I wanted to make sure that I am getting a medical grade one that has been grown for that specific purpose. And then lucky last is rosella. So I remember rosella when I was a little girl. My auntie put the flowers in the champagne at Christmas time, and I thought that was absolutely disgusting. So these you can dry the little flowers, or the pods that they create, those bright red, they sort of glisten, they're very pretty. They add a nice colour to your tea blends. So once again, all of this gorgeous selection has come from Mudbrick Herb Cottage. I might have said that wrong at the start. If I did, I apologise. There is a couple of other things that I do want. Passion flower, but that's not available until November, so from sort of next week. And comfrey. I'm having trouble with my comfrey seeds, so I would love to just get a plant and just be done with that so that I know that I can just grow it and not have to worry about the seeds germinating. So on that note, this is my new little side interest that I'm now delving into. I think it is absolutely incredible. I'm loving learning everything. My brain is like going with all the new information. And if you've got any further interest in this topic, then please outsource some of those amazing YouTubers, because they are just phenomenal with the information that they share on this amazing topic. From me and my herbs, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.